My name is David Cardoso, and together with Sergio Sierra, we are kicking off an initiative to introduce AI tools to our company. This is an experiment, so let us know if you find these videos valuable. And the first video that we're going to do is the introduction to LLMs. What are the LLMs that are on the market? And showing example of how actually I choose different LLMs that allows me to make my work more productive and to see how I choose different LLM models. So I think that the first question that we need to ask is, so what is exactly an LLM? So a large language model, or an LLM, is a machine learning model that is trained to generate human-like text. Probably you have seen the transformation that now this kind of technology has enabled chatbots, translation tools, code assistants, and even more things. And to make things more relatable, let us talk about a large language model that you can actually download and see what exactly is happening behind the curtain. And it's the Llama 2 models, the one that I'm showing here. This is a very well known open source model developed by Meta. And you might not realize, but you have already interact with this model previously, because it actually is the model that features in WhatsApp, in Facebook, and Instagram. So it's widely used because it's very cheap to run, and it also it's actually one of the first like commercial available LLMs, and at least produced by Facebook in all their websites. So if you go to the website and you try to download this Llama 2 model, you're going to see that it only downloads two files: a parameter file that it's in size 140 gigabytes in size, and a run.c model that tells you, hey, how to use this parameter. And this parameter files is just very briefly just a collection of numbers. And yeah, so that's it. That's the busy person definition for an LLM. So let us take a look of how actually you get these two files, specifically the parameter models, and we're going to see that it actually is very expensive to generate one of these files. So how do you generate these parameters files? Is that companies like Facebook, like Meta, OpenAI, and Google, in this case Meta, they created a data set of the internet, almost 10 terabytes in size, that contains text, Reddit posts, journalist articles, encyclopedias, and you want to create examples that contains very good text, very good text, and correctly grammar English. And then you let the machine read through all this data, and to read it and to make it fast to generate, you actually have to have an infrastructure of 6,000 GPUs. That's a specialized hardware that we use in machine learning. And to read through all of these documents, it took almost 12 days, and roughly the calculation of how much it costs is $2 million. And that the result of this $2 million operation is just a parameter files, which is the 140 gigabytes files, which are just plain numbers. So imagine that just to generate the model that you see, it took Meta $2 million for that. So those weights, or exactly this zip file, just help the models to predict the next word in a sentence based on context. So what it actually does is that I read some text, then I let the machine, hey, what is the next word that is going to appear? You use these parameters, and that give you a new word, and then you keep going until there is a special token, or there is a special text that says, hey, I'm stopping here, or there are no more text than generate, and that's it. That's what the LLM does. So here we're going to stop here, and this is Llama. This is an open source model. Models well known like ChatGPT are not open, so that means that you don't have access to this parameter and the runtime model. That actually is a highly guarded part of the OpenAI intellectual property, and that's why they are very secretive about what is the technology behind the product. And yeah, so you interact with that with a web interface. But if you have the models, if you have the weights and the architecture, you just need these two files to I mean, you could just download it in your computer, turn off the internet, and you will be able to use like a chat GPT inside of your computer. So let us take a look at the myriad of different options. So I have taken here a screenshot of all the different LLMs that I have on my phone. Mostly I discriminate them between different to big tech and startups. So ChatGPT, probably the first one, the one that has put um, LLMs into the end user market. So it's actually the original. Actually, the interesting is that GPT's general purpose transformer. It's actually an open source technology that was by Google 5 or 6 years ago before OpenAI started. So it's good to know that like large companies could have some ideas, and then startups can take it and make products out of it, even that Google have developed this technology before. So mostly in the market we have Google. There is the LLM called Gemini. From Meta, we have Meta AI or the Llama models that we just have seen. Microsoft have the copilots. And in the startup scene, we have Claude by Anthropic, a San Francisco startup that they do models that are very efficient. The Grok, Elon Musk company, it's a branch of X that has some very interesting stances on political subjects, and it's unhinged. In my perspective, we will see a video where we can see how this model react to certain topics. Perplexity, which is their idea is to resolve to make the browser obsolete and just use LLMs and the power to search on the internet. DeepSeek, a Chinese model generated by a Chinese laboratory that is open source, and it kind of destroy everyone on many metrics. So we're going to see how this model goes, how this model works in different areas. And from Europe, the French company Le Chat, that from Mistral, and it's actually one of the top contenders on top LLMs. So there are many of them. How do you actually decide which one to use? So there are two tools that I wanted to introduce. The first one is the leaderboard. So there is a website called LLM Arena. So if you take a look here, you're going to have a table that is going to show you the model and in which category they use. So if I want to use coding, for example, let's take math. I can see, okay, so GPT 4.5 is very good. How many votes? So what happens behind the curtain is that they put blind reviewers. So this is the output of the model. Say that if it's right or wrong, or even compare with another model, which response do you have? And they show you, hey, look, in the category of math, it looks like GPT 4.5 is really good. O1, DeepSeek, you can select the, I don't know, if you want to see Spanish, which is the model that has much better results. So I don't know this model, G-Lighting, but O1 Mini seems to be good in Spanish. Different parts, or a longer query. So you select the task, you try to search, hey, my task is very related to maybe logic, or to maybe more to multiple language, or it just in the overall settings. So it takes like in the aggregate of multiple tasks, which model is the better. There is also the Seal LLM models. So here there are much different tasks, but it can give you more idea of how exactly these models are very good, if it in a specific branch of logic, or if in a specific way to be more creative, or if it's only like more human, have more correct humans. So my advice to you is that with many options, the best strategy is just you don't have to rely on just one LLM. Instead, you should think of LLMs as that you can have a council of them. So bring your task or your text, your prompt to many of them, and just try to see for which you can actually feel that it gives you the best answer. And just wanted to introduce the leaderboard, so you can say, hey, if I'm doing this part, or I want to know So the human last exam is like a collection for doctorate questions. So if you are doing like very research intensive application, maybe you want to take a look at this table. Or if you are trying to develop an agent by yourself, like which are the models that seems to be much better at this task. So just try to follow this. Hopefully these two tools allows you to identify the best model for your needs. And just as a final thought, the magic behind LLMs is just, as I show you, two simple things, two files. And again, this is there is not much like well-known procedures to define which is the best model. So the only way that you can know, hey, for this task I want to do, I want to compare it to others, is that you experiment and then you follow the leaderboards to quickly identify either new models or the specific task that you want to solve. Hopefully that makes sense. So stay tuned. Maybe we're going to do a few more videos more frequently, and let us know what you think. So yeah, recall language. You can even compare if you want to do like more understanding video of images. And yeah, we will leave the two links on the post. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.